In case you missed reading it all, or just wanting to listen to it while driving, or doing something else, here is a full reading of the 5 recent posts and announcements from OpenAI. So, let's dive in.
AI progress and recommendations. AI is unlocking new knowledge and capabilities. Our responsibility is to guide that power toward broad, lasting benefit. When the popular conception of the Turing test went whooshing by, many of us thought it was a little strange how much daily life just kept going. This was a milestone people had talked about for decades. It felt impossibly out of reach, then all of a sudden it felt close, then all of a sudden we were on the other side. We got some great new products, and not much about the world changed. Even though computers can now converse and think about hard problems. Most of the world still thinks about AI as chatbots and better search. But today, we have systems that can outperform the smartest humans at some of our most challenging intellectual competitions. Although AI systems are still spiky and face serious weaknesses, systems that can solve such hard problems seem more like 80% of the way to an AI researcher than 20% of the way. The gap between how most people are using AI and what AI is presently capable of is immense. AI systems that can discover new knowledge, either autonomously or by making people more effective, are likely to have a significant impact on the world. In just a few years, AI has gone from only being able to do tasks, in the realm of software engineering specifically, that a person can do in a few seconds to tasks that take a person more than an hour. We expect to have systems that can do tasks that take a person days or weeks soon. We do not know how to think about systems that can do tasks that would take a person centuries. At the same time, the cost per unit of a given level of intelligence has fallen steeply. 40x per year is a reasonable estimate over the last few years. In 2026, we expect AI to be capable of making very small discoveries. In 2028 and beyond, we are pretty confident we will have systems that can make more significant discoveries, though we could of course be wrong. This is what our research progress appears to indicate. We've long felt that AI progress plays out in surprising ways, and that society finds ways to co-evolve with the technology. Although we expect rapid and significant progress in AI capabilities in the next few years, we expect that day-to-day life will still feel surprisingly constant. The way we live has a lot of inertia, even with much better tools. In particular, we expect the future to provide new and hopefully better ways to live a fulfilling life, and for more people to experience such a life than do today. It is true that work will be different. The economic transition may be very difficult in some ways, and it is even possible that the fundamental socioeconomic contract will have to change. But in a world of widely distributed abundance, people's lives can be much better than they are today. AI systems will help people understand their health, accelerate progress in fields like materials science, drug development, and climate modeling, and expand access to personalized education for students around the world. Demonstrating these kinds of tangible benefits helps build a shared vision of a world where AI can make life better, not just more efficient. OpenAI is deeply committed to safety, which we think of as the practice of enabling AI's positive impacts by mitigating the negative ones. Although the potential upsides are enormous, we treat the risks of superintelligent systems as potentially catastrophic and believe that empirically studying safety and alignment can help global decisions, like whether the whole field should slow development to more carefully study these systems as we get closer to systems capable of recursive self-improvement. Obviously, no one should deploy superintelligent systems without being able to robustly align and control them, and this requires more technical work. Here are several things we think could help with achieving a positive future with AI. Shared standards and insights from the frontier labs. We think that frontier labs should agree on shared safety principles and to share safety research, learnings about new risks, mechanisms to reduce race dynamics, and more. We can imagine ideas like frontier labs agreeing to certain standards around AI control evaluations being quite helpful. Society went through a similar process to establish building codes and fire standards, which have saved countless lives. An approach to public oversight and accountability commensurate with capabilities and that promotes positive impact from AI and mitigates the negative ones. There are two schools of thought about AI. One is that AI is like normal technology, in that it will progress like other technological revolutions in the past, from the printing press to the internet. Things will play out in ways that give people and society a chance to adapt, and conventional tools of public policy should work. We will need to prioritize ideas like promoting innovation, protecting the privacy of conversations with AI, and defending against misuse of powerful systems by bad actors by partnering with the federal government. We believe AI at around today's capability levels is roughly here and should diffuse everywhere, which means most developers and open source models and almost all deployments of today's technology should have minimal additional regulatory burdens relative to what already exists. It certainly should not have to face a 50-state patchwork. The other one is where superintelligence develops and diffuses in ways and at a speed humanity has not seen before. Here, we should do most of the things above, but we also will need to be more innovative. If the premise is that something like this will be difficult for society to adapt to in a normal way, we should also not expect typical regulation to be able to do much either. In this case, we will probably need to work closely with the executive branch and related agencies of multiple countries, such as the various safety institutes, to coordinate well, particularly around areas such as mitigating AI applications to bioterrorism, and using AI to detect and prevent bioterrorism, and the implications of self-improving AI. The high-order bit should be accountability to public institutions, but how we get there might have to differ from the past. Building an AI resilience ecosystem. In either scenario, building out an AI resilience ecosystem will be essential. When the internet emerged, we didn't protect it with a single policy or company. We built an entire field of cybersecurity. Software, encryption protocols, standards, monitoring systems, emergency response teams, etc. That ecosystem didn't eliminate risk, but reduced it to a level society could live with, enabling people to trust digital infrastructure enough to build their lives and economies on it. We will need something analogous for AI, and there's a powerful role for national governments to play in promoting industrial policy to encourage this. Ongoing reporting and measurement from the frontier labs and governments on the impacts of AI. Understanding how AI is concretely impacting the world makes it easier to steer this technology towards positive impact. Prediction is hard. For example, the impact of AI on jobs has been hard to anticipate, in part because today's AI's strengths and weaknesses are very different from those of humans. Measuring what's happening in practice is likely to be very informative. Building for individual empowerment. We believe that adults should be able to use AI on their own terms, within broad bounds defined by society. We expect access to advanced AI to be a foundational utility in the coming years, on par with electricity, clean water, or food. Ultimately, we think society should support making these tools widely available and that the North Star should be helping empower people to achieve their goals. Introducing the Teen Safety Blueprint, a framework for building AI that protects, empowers, and creates safer experiences for teens. We are introducing the Teen Safety Blueprint, a roadmap for building AI tools responsibly and a practical starting point for policymakers who are working to set standards for teen use of AI. Young people deserve technology that expands opportunity and protects their well-being. The blueprint helps define how AI should work for teens, including age-appropriate design, meaningful product safeguards, and ongoing research and evaluation. The decisions made today will shape how teens use and are protected by this technology for years to come. We aren't waiting for regulation to catch up. We're putting this framework into action across our products. We're anticipating risks and proactively strengthening protections for young people. In recent months, we have strengthened safeguards for younger users, launched parental controls with proactive notifications, and we're building toward an age prediction system to understand if someone is under 18 so that their ChatGPT experience can be tailored appropriately. This is ongoing work, and there is more to do. We are committed to building AI responsibly and improving continuously as we learn alongside parents, experts, and teens. We welcome collaboration from others working toward the same goal. 1 million business customers, the fastest-growing business platform in history. Customers such as Amgen, Commonwealth Bank, Booking.com, Cisco, Lowe's, Morgan Stanley, T-Mobile, Target, and Thermo Fisher Scientific are already on board, with more joining every week. Today, we're announcing that more than 1 million business customers around the world are directly using OpenAI, the fastest-growing business platform in history. This includes all organizations that actively pay OpenAI for business use, either through ChatGPT for work or through direct consumption of our models through our developer platform. We're proud to work with category leaders in industries like financial services, healthcare, retail, and more, where our technology is making intelligence central to their customer experiences, internal operations, and team-level workflows. From personal use to company-wide impact, our enterprise momentum is fueled in part by consumer adoption. With more than 800 million weekly users already familiar with ChatGPT, adoption and ROI within businesses is realized more rapidly. Pilots are shorter and rollouts face less friction. We're seeing this with the growth of ChatGPT for work. We now have more than 7 million total ChatGPT for work seats, up 40% in just 2 months. ChatGPT enterprise seats specifically have grown 9x year over year. New tools, integrations, and capabilities for businesses. To support this acceleration, we've launched a new wave of tools, integrations, and capabilities to help teams move from early use to full-scale deployment. We introduced Company Knowledge, which lets ChatGPT reason across tools like Slack, SharePoint, Google Drive, GitHub, and more to get answers, do analysis, and take action using a version of GPT-5 that's optimized for working with tools and providing citations. Adoption for Codex, our model for code generation, refactoring, and workflow automation has accelerated quickly. Usage is up 10x since August. Recently, organizations like Cisco have rolled out Codex into their engineering workflows, cutting code review times by 50% and shrinking project timelines from weeks to days. We also made enterprise agents practical to build and deploy with AgentKit, making it possible for teams to go from idea to production in days instead of months. Companies like Carlyle are already seeing results. The AgentKit evaluation platform cut development time on Carlyle's multi-agent due diligence framework by over 50% and improved agent accuracy by 30%. We also advanced our multimodal models to enable richer workflows, from the image generation API and Sora 2 for visual and video creation to GP to real-time and real-time API to build production voice agents. Teams across every industry can now work across text, images, video, and audio in one system. Companies are seeing meaningful ROI. AI is delivering real business value. According to a recent Wharton study, 75% of enterprises report a positive ROI, and fewer than 5% report a negative return. While there are many studies on this topic, this one reflects what we see on the ground today with our customers. When AI is deployed with the right use case and infrastructure, teams see real results. Indeed is using OpenAI APIs in its invite to apply feature to drive a 20% increase in applications and a 13% lift in hires. Lowe's empowers all associates in 700-plus stores with expert project guidance through Milo Companion, an in-store app built with OpenAI models. With OpenAI as the backbone of Fin, their customer service agent, Intercom has accelerated development cycles from quarters to days. And starting today, Databricks is bringing OpenAI frontier intelligence to where enterprises' data already lives, making it easier to build and run high-quality agents. Where we're heading next. Beyond internal adoption, we're seeing a second trend. Businesses increasingly want to build with OpenAI too. Companies are creating new applications and agentic workflows directly on our platform. Canva, Figma, Zillow, Spotify, and others have plugged their apps directly into ChatGPT to meet users where they already are. Shopify, Etsy, Walmart, PayPal, and Salesforce are building new shopping experiences through the Agentic Commerce Protocol, ACP, and ChatGPT, bringing conversational commerce into the flow of everyday decisions. We're deeply grateful to the customers building with us today, and we're looking forward to what's next in 2026 and beyond. There's a big opportunity to rethink the operating system for work, and we're excited to build the platform to power it. Introducing IndQA, a new benchmark for evaluating AI systems on Indian culture and languages. Our mission is to make AGI benefit all of humanity. If AI is going to be useful for everyone, it needs to work well across languages and cultures. About 80% of people worldwide do not speak English as a primary language. Yet most existing benchmarks that measure non-English language capabilities fall short. Existing multilingual benchmarks like MMMLU, opens in a new window, are now saturated. Top models cluster near high scores, which make them less useful for measuring real progress. In addition, current benchmarks mostly focus on translation or multiple choice tasks. They don't adequately capture what really matters for evaluating an AI system's language capabilities. Understanding context, culture, history, and the things that matter to people where they live. That's why we built IndQA, a new benchmark designed to evaluate how well AI models understand and reason about questions that matter in Indian languages across a wide range of cultural domains. While our aim is to create similar benchmarks for other languages and regions, India is an obvious starting point. India has about 1 billion people who don't use English as their primary language, 22 official languages, including at least 7 with over 50 million speakers, and is ChatGPT's second largest market. This work is part of our ongoing commitment to improve our products and tools for Indian users, and to make our technology more accessible throughout the country. How it works? IndQA evaluates knowledge and reasoning about Indian culture and everyday life in Indian languages. It spans 2,278 questions across 12 languages and 10 cultural domains, created in partnership with 261 domain experts from across India. Unlike existing benchmarks like MMMLU and MGSEM, it is designed to probe culturally nuanced, reasoning-heavy tasks that existing evaluations struggle to capture. IndQA covers a broad range of culturally relevant topics, such as architecture and design, arts and culture, everyday life, food and cuisine, history, law and ethics, literature and linguistics, media and entertainment, religion and spirituality, and sports and recreation, with items written natively in Bengali, English, Hindi, Hinglish, Kannada, Marathi, Adiya, Telugu, Gujarati, Malayalam, Punjabi, and Tamil. Note, we specifically added Hinglish given the prevalence of code switching in conversations. Each data point includes a culturally grounded prompt in an Indian language, an English translation for auditability, rubric criteria for grading, and an ideal answer that reflects expert expectations. IndQA uses a rubric-based approach. Each response is graded against criteria written by domain experts for that specific question. The criteria spell out what an ideal answer should include or avoid, and each one is given a weighted point value based on its importance. A model-based grader checks whether each criterion is met. The final score is the sum of the points for criteria satisfied out of the total possible. How we built IndQA. Expert-authored questions. We worked with partners to find experts in India across 10 different domains. They drafted difficult, reasoning-focused prompts tied to their regions and specialties. These experts are native-level speakers of the relevant language and English, and bring deep subject expertise. Adversarial filtering. Each question was tested against OpenAI's strongest models at the time of their creation. GPT-4o, OpenAI o3, GPT 4.5, and, partially, post-public launch, GPT-5. We kept only those questions where a majority of these models failed to produce acceptable answers, preserving headroom for progress. Detailed criteria. Along with every question, domain experts provided criteria used to grade the model response, similar to an exam rubric for an essay question. These criteria are used to grade responses from candidate models. Ideal answers plus review. Experts added ideal answers and English translations, followed by peer review and iterative fixes until sign-off. Example questions. English translation. How did the writer of Bengali novel Dandak Theek Merachampi depict the post-rehabilitation lives of lower caste men and women? Was the rehabilitation in Dandakaranya a result of governmental indifference? What was its relation with the new natural landscapes? In what context were cookbooks published from the end of the 19th century? What is the difference between the first Bengali cookbook and the book written by Baipradas Mukherjee? How long did the magazine published by Baipradas run? Which book was published by Digapatiya following the writings of Baipradas and Pragya Sundari? Improvements over time. We use IndQA to evaluate how recent frontier models perform and chart progress over the last couple years. With IndQA, we can see that OpenAI's models have improved significantly over time on Indian languages, with caveats, but still have substantial room for improvement. We look forward to improving performance and sharing results for future models. We also stratify performance on IndQA by language and domain below, comparing GPT-5 Thinking High to other frontier models. Caveats. Because questions are not identical across languages, IndQA is not a language leaderboard. Cross-language scores shouldn't be interpreted as direct comparisons of language ability. Instead, we plan to use IndQA to measure improvement over time within a model family or configuration. Additionally, because questions were filtered to those GPT-4o, OpenAI 03, GPT 4.5, and post-public launch, GPT-5 could not answer sufficiently. Question selection is adversarial against these models. This potentially confounds the relative performance of GPT-5 and could disadvantage all OpenAI models compared to non-OpenAI models. The experts behind IndQA. We're grateful to the 261 Indian experts, journalists, linguists, scholars, artists, and industry practitioners who authored and reviewed questions for IndQA. A few examples of the experts we worked with includes a Nandi Award-winning Telugu actor and screenwriter with over 750 films, a Marathi journalist and editor at Tarun Bharat, a scholar of Kannada linguistics and dictionary editor, an international chess grandmaster who coaches top 100 chess players, a Tamil writer, poet, and cultural activist advocating for social justice, caste equity, and literary freedom, an award-winning Punjabi music composer, a Gujarati heritage curator and conservation specialist, an award-winning Malayalam poet and performance artist, a professor of history specializing in Bengal's rich cultural heritage, a professor of architecture focusing on Odishan temples. Next steps. We hope the release of IndQA will inform and inspire new benchmark creation from the research community. IndQA-style questions are especially valuable in languages or cultural domains that are poorly covered by existing AI benchmarks. Creating similar benchmarks to IndQA can help AI research labs learn more about languages and domains models struggle with today and provide a North Star for improvements in the future. AWS and OpenAI announced multi-year strategic partnership. Partnership will enable OpenAI to run its advanced AI workloads on AWS world-class infrastructure starting immediately. Key takeaways. The multi-year strategic partnership empowers OpenAI with immediate and increasing access to AWS world-class infrastructure for their advanced AI workloads. AWS to provide OpenAI with Amazon EC2 Ultra servers, featuring hundreds of thousands of chips and the ability to scale to tens of millions of CPUs for its advanced generative AI workloads. Representing a $38 billion commitment, OpenAI will rapidly expand compute capacity while benefiting from the price, performance, scale, and security of AWS. Today, Amazon Web Services, AWS, and OpenAI announced a multi-year strategic partnership that provides AWS world-class infrastructure to run and scale OpenAI's core artificial intelligence, AI, workloads starting immediately. Under this new $38 billion agreement, which will have continued growth over the next 7 years. OpenAI is accessing AWS compute comprising hundreds of thousands of state-of-the-art NVIDIA GPUs, with the ability to expand to tens of millions of CPUs to rapidly scale agentic workloads. AWS has unusual experience running large-scale AI infrastructure securely, reliably, and at scale, with clusters topping 500K chips. AWS leadership in cloud infrastructure combined with OpenAI's pioneering advancements in generative AI will help millions of users continue to get value from ChatGPT. The rapid advancement of AI technology has created unprecedented demand for computing power. As frontier model providers seek to push their models to new heights of intelligence, they're increasingly turning to AWS due to the performance, scale, and security they can achieve. OpenAI will immediately start utilizing AWS compute as part of this partnership, with all capacity targeted to be deployed before the end of 2026 and the ability to expand further into 2027 and beyond. The infrastructure deployment that AWS is building for OpenAI features a sophisticated architectural design optimized for maximum AI processing efficiency and performance. Clustering the NVIDIA GPUs, both GB200S and GB300S, via Amazon EC2 Ultra servers on the same network enables low-latency performance across interconnected systems, allowing OpenAI to efficiently run workloads with optimal performance. The clusters are designed to support various workloads, from serving inference for ChatGPT to training next-generation models, with the flexibility to adapt to OpenAI's evolving needs. Scaling frontier AI requires massive, reliable compute, said OpenAI co-founder and CEO Sam Altman. Our partnership with AWS strengthens the broad compute ecosystem that will power this next era and bring advanced AI to everyone. As OpenAI continues to push the boundaries of what's possible, AWS best-in-class infrastructure will serve as a backbone for their AI ambitions, said Matt Garman, CEO of AWS. The breadth and immediate availability of optimized compute demonstrates why AWS is uniquely positioned to support OpenAI's vast AI workloads. This news continues the company's work together to provide cutting-edge AI technology to benefit organizations worldwide. Earlier this year, OpenAI open-weight foundation models became available on Amazon Bedrock, bringing these additional model options to millions of customers on AWS. OpenAI has quickly become one of the most popular publicly available model providers in Amazon Bedrock with thousands of customers, including BuyStreet, Comscore, Peloton, Thomson Reuters, Triomix, and Verana Health, working with their models for agentic workflows, coding, scientific analysis, mathematical problem solving, and more. To get started with OpenAI's open-weight models in Amazon Bedrock, visit AWS@amazon.com/bedrock/OpenAI.